person represents what it means to be a Spartan. Today's reflection speaker exemplifies the 3 A's of GBN: academics, athletics, and activities. They are well-rounded individuals with great hearts and are well-respected within the Glenbrook North community. Please welcome your 2015 reflection speaker, Josh Cohen.
Josh A.
What's up, Glenbrook North? My name is Josh Cohen, and I'm pumped to spend the next 10 minutes looking at how awesome GBN is. We're going to start off with an interesting little mental exercise. Everybody, close your eyes. Now picture the warm, the promising, and yes, the school-free summer that looms before us. Picture the green grass, the free time, the pool, the lack of stress. We're so close. Now slowly open them back up. Don't worry, those glorious 2.5 months still await us out there. But before we go, let's focus on what we have in here, in this building in Glenbrook North. What we have in here is the selfless peer group leader who drops everything to tell her devastated freshmen, it's okay you didn't get asked to homecoming. You were so cute and kind, and the way you solved that puzzle on Tuesday blew me away. What we have in here is the athlete who will approach his frustrated teammate and say, don't worry, man, you and I can get some extra practice in on Sunday. What we have here are performances made breathtaking, not only by the ability of our actors to portray their characters, but by the character of our actors when they're off the stage. So yeah, I feel you. Summer's right around the corner, and we're all finding it hard to wait. But before that time comes, let's focus on 3 major factors that make GBN the unbelievable entity it is. First, caring is cool at Glenbrook North. Second, this forges an empathetic environment of competitive collaboration. Finally, this is an environment uniquely shaped by every single one of us over the past 4 years. But that list is kind of boring on its own. Let's use a story to bring it to life, one I'm sure you've all heard. It's that once in August of 2011 about that self-conscious freshman who came from a small private middle school, burdened with a wealth of cultural ignorance and a Jew-fro he stupidly named Harry. In junior high, this was the type of kid always to get picked last for football. And then, I'm sure as you all know, 4 years go by. It's now late May 2015, and this same kid can run a sub-5-minute mile. And I even heard he threw 2 pretty dope touchdown passes in arena football. This same kid has seen every fall play, every spring musical, and as many one-acts and band concerts as he could manage. The Jew-fro is long gone, but so too is the awkward self-consciousness, which is fortunate because this same kid now has the pleasure of speaking in front of 1,000 of his friends. Getting some blank stares. No one? All right, I can work with that. Let's start from the beginning then. Freshman orientation. Be real, that day 4 years ago on this very CPA, we were all nervous and unsure of what this whole Spartan thing was about. And then, out of nowhere, Fermata came.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They performed with such passion and ability that we all got a glimpse of what it meant to be involved in GBN, how it allows you to find your passion and excel. Look at how far we've come since that day, 4 years ago in this very CPA. However, we haven't done it all on our own. Keira McCarthy's story shows how the support and tools we received at GBN have made us who we are today. Keira, like so many absurdly talented people, became almost unnaturally involved in GBN. On top of rigorous academics, Keira was a part of Choir, Express, Fermata, and half of V-Show. On top of that, she was the captain and MVP of her volleyball team and lead in this year's musical. That's truly inspiring, but naturally, there were times when stress caught up with Keira. Like V-Show week last year, when she routinely invested 16 hours a day at school. Her once bright surroundings began to darken, and it was one particularly complex web assignment that began to symbolize the crushing weight of all her other assignments. Her inability to complete it caused a sort of tunnel vision to tint her days, Frustrated, she went to Mr. Unterman, seeing if he could at least offer an extension. He gave her so much more than that. The time and effort he invested allowed Kira to not only complete the assignment, but more importantly, allowed her to throw back the dread that had enshrouded her days and bounce back with her normal passion and enthusiasm. In a larger sense, haven't we all been there? Swamped with stuff to do and unsure of even where to begin, the weight of it almost crushing us. But when we turn to GBN, the community, we receive the support we need to thrive, be it from Mr. Unterman or Mr. Berg or Mrs. Ilya or Mr. Benson. The support we receive at GBN, coupled with our passion and ability, allow us to partake in everything from rocketry to band. And in fact, one of our classmates, Ben Gutman, is. As captain of the rocketry team, Ben had to run a tight rocket ship, that is. He had to learn to teach and designate roles to others, skills he then utilized as assistant principal of the London Symphony Orchestra. He told me there's nothing quite like the thrill of hitting the ignition after hours of intricate prep work, getting everything just right, and watching Vroom, a rocket one you made soar, all the while fighting the confines of gravity billow like a triumphant trail of smoke. It is inspiring to watch our peers combine diverse interests to find success in both. However, Ben is just one awesome example. Think about all the new clubs and activities and athletics you've tried. Sure, some just weren't for us, but others were roaring successes that help define who we are. This is largely why I joined the swim team my freshman year with zero experience. That season, my best finishing place was second to last. Regardless, or maybe because of that rough start, the swim team allowed me to meet some of the greatest guys in the world and work harder than I ever have before. All of us, in some sense or another, have our own swim teams, our own places where we learn to grow and excel. Be it DECA, who've had top international finishes as of yet, or boys bowling, who've gone down to state for the past 3 years in a row. With that in mind, let's look at our most recent swim season, one I got to experience as a captain. Our first meet was against Lyons Township, and we got eviscerated. But because we were swimming for ourselves and not Pembroke North as a whole, we were able to brush off our atrocious times. This was epitomized in the 4x4 relay that ends every meet. We lazily chanted, Spartan relay, Spartan relay, as we saw our teammates get completely out-competed in the water. Put simply, and minus a lot of vulgarity, our coaches were not okay with this dismal show. From then on, every day, we got pushed to our limits, beaten up in practice, only to warily pull ourselves out and start again at 5 the next morning. We couldn't do it alone, so we didn't. We began to push each other as far as we could go, but when one of us faltered, we coalesced around him to propel him onwards. 4 weeks after the Lions debacle, we had our first conference meet against Dallas North. This time, we were ready. This time, we raced. But they were a good team, and we kept trading off leads. Them, us. It came down to the 4x4 relay. 4 weeks ago, we were apathetic. Now, clad only in our Speedos and hearts full of passion, we cheered. Spartan relay. Spartan relay. But look, we're pulling ahead. They have a body limit on us. It all came down to our last swimmer, Mark Schneider, who dove. And in that moment, we knew we had invested effort. We knew what we were made of. And he hit the water, and in one of the greatest swims of all time, beat the Dallas swimmer by 0.03 seconds. Oh. Such elation is not foreign here at GBN. For example, Glenbrook North Group Inter, a team that acts competitively without the aid of props, a set, or even costumes, placed 3rd in state last year and 2nd this year. Hell yeah. Such solutions do not happen by accident. And Austin Dowdy's story shows just how GBN forges such excellent teams, from debate to theater to girls water polo. Austin came into the theater department his freshman year, ready to contribute in whatever way he could. It turned out that year, the best way he could contribute was to not be in the musical at all. However, this wasn't the end of his theatrical ambitions, quite the opposite in fact. He began to work harder and harder, pushed onward by passionate peers. Sophomore year, he secured a minor role. Though not the largest, he understood that the roles of lead and support were cast not only to better the individual, but the performance as a whole. Luckily for Austin, the musical community, and the ladies, he hit puberty that summer. That's true for a kid hitting puberty, that's kind of weird, but this, combined with his particular work ethic, allowed Austin to snag the awesome supporting role of Aaron Schultz his junior year, and the lead role of Bud from his senior year. Give it up for Austin. But how does his story connect to that of Group-Inter? Every single member of Group-Inter is equally dedicated to creating the best whole. Instead of counting crayons, they select each member's best color and use it to make something beautiful. In any given Group-Inter scene, there are 5 to 10 people acting on their own. It has the potential to be chaos. But because of their dedication to collaboration, a cacophony becomes a masterpiece. Earlier, you guys were unfamiliar with the story of the transition of a young, fluffy-haired and fluffy-brained boy into a thinking, loving young man. I hope we all have a better grasp on that transition now, and this school's integral role in letting me, us, be the best we can be. Being Kira, Austin, Benz, or my own, we all have unique and complicated stories. But the one thing we all have in common is that we go to the greatest school in the world. Kindness and empathy are common in our hallways. Our diverse interests and spirited competitive collaboration allow us to excel beyond our abilities. There is no other way to say it. These 4 years would not have been the same without us. Denver North, I love you. And with that being said, I declare summer starts now. I was just informed I do not have the power. So please, please, live up these last few moments at GBN and embrace all it has to offer. I love you, Denver North.